It is March 2011. I never called that place for my schedule, but I get a feeling I got to work on Saturday, though.
Well, I would call anyway, just so you know.
What if I'm not scheduled on Saturday?
Then you can stay longer.
I'd have to work for sure by next Wednesday. Because I already know that.
The more work you have, the more money you'll earn.
Yeah, for more vacations. I can't live without vacations.
Oh yeah, I have to be able to travel. Have to.
This world is shit.
Oh, you know what annoys me? I'm going to throw this past you. People who take staycations, when they take a week off work and they stay home and do nothing. I don't see the point.
They say they don't have the money. But Ken did that.
Sometimes it's just to get some rest. I mean, remember we did that one time. We went...
Not for a whole week.
We stayed over at a hotel in Jonesboro, which is right here in Atlanta.
But we did go out.
Yes, we did.
No, a staycation is when you stay home and...
I mean, sometimes...
well, I know someone took it to the staycation so he could clean up his apartment. And he didn't get very far, so I'm not the only one who has this fucking problem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who have this problem.
Honey,
yeah.
Sometimes, travel takes some work. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
You're the one who does the driving, and, and if you're staying, say, in a hotel that's not that great, you might as well have just stayed at home and done things you like there.
I just think it's a waste to take off a week and not go away.
You could,
it is.
You could choose to stay in a mental institution and get,
Well, gee, I guess I'd fit right in, wouldn't I?
Now, for New Year's Eve, Joon and I went to Augusta. We didn't do a lot there, but we did do a lot of eating, and we went to, on New Year's Eve, we went to a club that featured a country band.
I didn't find it terribly exciting.
Did we go to past Green Tomatoes yet?
We'll
no,
be passing.
we didn't.
We'll be passing that soon.
How did you like Green Tomatoes the last time we went?
I liked it better than the time we went the last. Everything we first. I thought Stacy's was worse, and I thought Green Tomatoes was Casey's. Yeah,
was worse.
And Green Tomatoes was better. They also had better quality chicken at Green Tomatoes.
Oh, their quality happens to be very good.
Well, when I was here,
As for Casey's, we both had a bitter taste in our mouths because we got into it.
Yeah.
But at least now we know. Weather Nation is available here on channel 211.
Now, if nothing else doesn't get you or me triggered off.
Yeah, well, we'll make sure that...
I can be triggered easily on certain issues.
I'm sure you can.
Have you noticed that?
There are one or two things I could too. I try not to let it get to me.
Oh, we just went past in Gwinnett County.
Yeah, I know we did. Yeah, well, that's where we're going to Gwinnett County.
That's someplace I never went with my parents. And I remember the shit full of the Florida corridor. Remember what that is?
I really don't.
How can you not remember that?
Because I have other priorities.
So do I.
Yeah, well, certain things...
I don't know about the Florida corridor, but I do know about Florida-Georgia line.
All right. You see this place over here, Loving Hut? They're all vegan, and once a month on a Saturday, they have an all-you-can-eat buffet, and it is absolutely delicious, except it's expensive. It's like $14 or $14.95 or something. Their prices went up over the years.
They know they have a good thing.
For lunch or dinner?
Oh, it's all day from, I think, 11 to 8.
And they have some good stuff there. I mean...
It's delicious.
I mean, I can get into vegetarian or vegan cooking if it's good.
Oh, this is very good.
And they have what they call a goulash. It's really a stew, but it tastes great. And the product they use, the meat analog product they use, they do a good job with it.
Yeah, do you like stew? I don't think I ever asked you this.
I don't like beef stew, but maybe it's just how it was made too. My mother made it with, and the meat had grizzle in it.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do it like that.
Oh, no, you got to get very lean beef to make stew.
My mother didn't do that. And I stopped liking it, and then she acted like a fucking bitch, and she screamed at me, and then it made my anxiety go fucking crazy.
Well, with good beef, do you like beef stew with carrots and potatoes?
You know, I'd have to try it.
My mother used to make that, and it was delicious. Couldn't get enough of it.
Well, speaking about the Florida corridor, remember me telling you about Gordon County in 53?
In 53? No.
I told you about it 2 days ago.
I have so many other things in my mind.
That's when we ate at that bonanza that was there. And my father saw, and then that person had...
Oh, the long fingernails, and your father took his side.
And then he yelled and screamed at me all the way from Gordon County through 285, Uwata, all the way through the south of Atlanta area before he finally shut the fuck up.
So that's what you call the Florida corridor.
And
yeah.
No, the Florida corridor. I should really call it the Florida-Chicago corridor. The Florida-Chicago corridor is all of Interstate 75 from north of Tampa. Because the Florida Turnpike is also part of the Florida corridor, of course. Or the Shitville corridor, I call it.
Yeah.
And then it's all of Interstate 75 through all the way up until Chattanooga. Then Interstate 24 becomes the Florida corridor. I'm talking about Florida-Chicago corridor is what I really...
Okay.
Shitville-Chicago corridor. Now, we used to take... In Nashville, we would take 65 into Indiana. But my parents decided to change it and take 24 all the way up through 57 and through Illinois, which went up into the Chicago area. All that is the Florida corridor. The Shitville. There it is.
There's
yeah.
green tomato.
God, they're busy. Well, I can understand why. The food is excellent.
So Uwata Ive is the Florida corridor, but it's the west part of. It's part of Uwata Ave that goes from where 75 north through 75 south on the west side of it. And remember, my father was fucking screaming at me, and my mother was screaming at me, and all this bullshit, all the way from Gordon County, which is about 60 miles north of Atlanta.
So your mother jumped in and took his side, huh?
Yeah. And that was when my brother also decided to give me shit about my fucking fingernails. He's the one that died.
Yeah.
At the time. A few years later, my father told my brother, asking him to cut my fingernails, to tell me to cut my fingernails. You know what my brother said?
What?
He said he's gonna do what he's gonna do.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I mean, I personally don't like long, unpolished nails, but I don't care if anyone else has them.
Well, you know what?
My father...
I think your brother was very sensible.
I think so, in that case.
My father thinks that if my brother gave me a lecture about my fingernails, like, a few years after he did it, after he did that other time, that I was just going to turn around and listen to him, no questions asked. My father thinks my mind is that fucking weak. Oh, my father hated it because my mind wasn't weak enough.
Well, I think your father's mind was weak.
No shit.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy my well-deserved feast.
Yeah.
At the buffet.
Oh, it's